Okay, we have our last problem here. Yay! Okay, so we have this problem, right? John and Nick are building a part for their robotics project, and they have a part that has a rectangular prism. You can see the dimensions, the length and the height and the width. And they're going to drill out a cylinder, right? That's the whole length of this piece. And we have to try to figure out how much mass that piece is going to be, right, after you drill out, obviously, that core cylinder center. So we're given, right, the density of this metal, and ideally they're trying to stay under 362 grams. So think about that. How is density, right, mass related, right? So if we talk about, let me get my little drawing pen here. If we talk about that, right, triangle again, mass over density times volume, right? So we're trying to find ultimately the mass. So if I cross that out again, well, we just take the density times the volume. So really, what do we want to do? We want to find the volume. Okay, well, that's a little bit involved because it's not just the volume of one shape, right? It's the volume of that prism. Take away the volume of that cylinder. All right, so I'm going to first find the volume of a prism. Now that's the easy part, right? Because if you look at your formula sheet, a general prism is capital B times H. Remember that capital B is the area of the base. So if I'm looking down here, that's the area of the base. That's 4 times 6. And then, of course, the H is the height. That's another 6. Okay, so if we pick up our calculator, right, and do 4 times 6 times 6, we get 144. And we are in cubic centimeters, right? All dimensions were in centimeters, so I didn't have to do any conversions. Okay, but now we have to find out, well, what is the volume of a cylinder? Okay, so in the cylinder, right, we have volume of the cylinder. What formula is that? Pi r squared h. Okay, so what do I know about that cylinder? Well, if I go back up here, it did give me that the diameter was 1.5 centimeters. So if the diameter is 1.5 centimeters, how do I get to the radius, right? So you could use your calculator, right, to take 1.5 divided by 2, but you could also think money, right? $1.50, what's half of that? 75 cents. So 0.75 is going to be the radius, right? So now I'm going to find the volume of the cylinder, which is pi times 0.75 squared. Now remember, the height is this entire length, right, of that cylinder, which is 6. Okay, so if we square 0.75, right, and multiply by 6, we have the volume of the cylinder is 3.375 pies. All right, so I'm just going to leave that in terms of pi because that's the easiest thing to do in my calculator. And now, of course, I'm going to do that subtraction where I take the volume of the prism minus the volume of the cylinder. Okay, so that's going to be the 144 minus 3.37 pi. And I can just put that all in my calculator. 144 minus 3.375 pi. Okay, so this is now equal to 133.39 dot dot dot. I'm just going to keep the whole number in my calculator. Okay, and now we have the volume, right? But we have to multiply that by the density. And notice the density is 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter. Okay, so if my volume is 133.397 dot dot dot, right, and this is my cubic centimeters, I'm now going to multiply that by 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter. You can see once again that those cubic centimeters divide out, and that is how we get the grams of weight. So just keep that number in your calculator and hit times 2.7, and we get about, right, our mass is going to be about 360.17 dot 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 grams. So the good news is, right, they have come under their weight constraints with the about 360 grams. Can't wait to see that robot from John and Nick. Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful for you guys. Okay, Action Jackson signing out.